Gateshead International Stadium stages the climax of the British club season. It's cup final day and a very big event for those on the fringe of international class. Hello and welcome to Gateshead. The Guardian Royal Exchange competition started with something like 300 clubs, and now here in Gateshead we're down to the last 8. The men will be competing for the Gold Cup. 8 teams are here. Haringey, the favourites, looking very strong again, and the women, they go for this Jubilee Cup. Essex Ladies looking to retain the trophy they won so convincingly last year. Steve Ovett will be your co-host here in Gateshead today. Steve, you're a club man, really, aren't you? Phoenix, isn't it? And up there in Scotland, who is it? Annan or something up there?
Annan District.
Correct.
Get it straight, Jim.
Correct. You're a club man, and what about the spirit that runs through the clubs and the spirit that we'll see here today?
Well, it's very keen, isn't it? I mean, you train with your club all year round, really. You come out internationally sometimes and run, but when you're there with rubbing shoulders against all the athletes that you train with every year, you want to come out and do well for them when you compete for them as a club. So everybody here today wants to do well, but at the same time, there's a very big social atmosphere here.
Steve, you're going to be flitting around the infield with me. We'll look forward to hearing from you a bit later on.
Thanks, Steve.
OK, well, Haringey won this competition really convincingly last year, and they are the club that everyone has got to beat to get that Gold Cup off them. We're just going to check the full lineup, the clubs that are going to be trying to take it away from Haringey, the holders, their 13th cup final, and as I say, looking very strong once again. Belgrave Harriers, based in London, John Ridgin is here for them. Birchfield Harriers from Birmingham, and they include British 400 record holder Derek Redmond. Newham and Essex Beagles, a very consistent club. This is their 6th final. Shaftesbury Barnet Harriers, one of 6 London-based clubs here today. Another, Thames Valley Harriers. Linford Christie is a member there. Woodford Green, founder members of the British Athletics League. And finally, Wolverhampton and Bilston. And they should be strong favourites for our first event with their star man, Max Robertson.
Well, it's going to be a very busy day for Max. He runs here in his #1 event, at which he is British #2 and a member of our World Championship team, and is due to compete later in the sprint hurdles. The full lineup is Max Robertson, Wolverhampton, Gavin Strether, Woodford, Greg Dunson, Shaftesbury Barnet, Paul Hibbert of Birchfield, Terry Price, Newham and Essex Beagles, Steve Harridge, Thames Valley Harriers, Lawrence Lynch of Haringey, and Paul Beaumont from Belgrave. Max Robertson obviously expected to win this. He won last year's final. It's important here for Haringey that Lawrence Lynch, who's gone off very well indeed, extreme left of the picture, finishes high, because they've had a disappointment in the first 2 events, only 7th in the hammer and 4th in the 10,000 metres behind their main rivals Belgrave. And Lynch has gone off very well, the 23-year-old. You can't see what's going on inside him, where Max Robertson, the distinctive blonde-haired figure in the middle of the picture, went off steadily over the first 200, but is now beginning to reel back Lynch outside him. These two had a neck-and-neck battle in last year's final. Robertson won that one, and he's ahead again here, although Lynch on the near side is going to push him all the way over the final hurdle. It's going to be very close between these two. And in the end, it's Robertson who wins it again from Lynch, but I think Paul Hibbert of Birchfield third. A smile on the face of Max Robertson, who's had a bit of a disappointing week on the international arena, but has now brought his club maximum 9 points here.
As ever, the first event of the day had been the hammer, and the clear winner was Mike Jones of Shaftesbury Barnet, who did 68 metres 08. Well, he'll be representing Britain in the World Championships in Tokyo. He won by some 4.5 metres from Peacock of Birchfield and Cook of Thames Valley, but the leading teams, Belgrave and Haringey, losing points there a little. Stewart Faulkner, the English record holder, has not been in pretty good form today this year, but Birchfield Harriers would have been very pleased indeed with his 7 metres 75 in the 5th round. This was his final jump to complete a very good series and get Birchfield excellent points. 7.75, in fact, his season's best. In second place was Fred Salle of Belgrave Harriers. He did 7 metres 47, but Haringey have lost a bit of ground. Colin Rattigan's only managed 4th place at 7 metres 20. So let's look again at Faulkner, and it's good to see him getting back into something approaching his very best form. As it was, he won the long jump by some 28 centimetres, and that's good for Birchfield.
Well, now let's introduce you to the 8 women's teams competing for the GRE Jubilee Cup, and there's no question about the club they're all going to be aiming at. That's Essex Ladies. Essex Ladies won here so convincingly last year. They topped the 100-point mark. They won 7 events, and once again Essex Ladies look very strong here today. They include the British captain Sally Gunnell. For Birchfield Harriers, heptathlete Clover Court takes part in 5 events. Coventry Godiva Harriers, also from the West Midlands, founded in 1879, and not surprisingly, they're the oldest club here. Croydon Harriers, and they include Judy Oakes in the shot and the discus. Glasgow, the only representatives from Scotland here today. The Borough of Hounslow, with Bev Kinch, her last run before the World Championships. Sale Harriers, Diane Edwards goes in the 400 for them. And finally, Stretford. Paula Thomas, their best-known competitor. Louise Fraser, another British international, goes for Stretford in the 400 hurdles.
Well, this is the first of 5 events then for Louise Fraser, the 20-year-old from Stretford, in what may turn out to be her best event. Her personal best only 60.2, and that's way down in lane 6, Sarah Dean of Essex Ladies, Britain's number 4 this year. She'll be the favourite, but I expect Fraser to push her hard. Also good to see Simone Laidlow, who represented Britain in the Seoul Olympics, making a comeback. So, Simone Laidlow in 5, Sarah Dean in 6, Louise Fraser in 8. That's Louise Fraser nearest the camera. Also running in the inside lane, Olive Burke, who's an Ireland international. Already running well in the blue of Essex Ladies is Sarah Dean out in lane 6, and Louise Fraser also gone off very fast indeed. Louise, who's multi-talented, runs well at 100, 200 and 400 metres, and was a Commonwealth representative in the high hurdles. So she's got her own lonely race on the outside, and she won't see Sarah Dean until they come round the final bend, I expect. Also going well in the black of Birchfield is Janet Levermore in lane 4. So it's the main action in those outside lanes. Sarah Dean in lane 6 has made up the stagger on Louise Fraser, and Levermore inside them in the black vest of Birchfield. Those are the 3 leaders as they come into the home straight. Sarah Dean, who's made such progress this year, 3 personal best, 3rd in the women's trios and 57.38. She's coming home. Louise Fraser tiring a little bit, and it's Sarah Dean coming through to a comprehensive victory, with Janet Levermore running well for Birchfield in 2nd place. Louise Fraser just holding off Simone Laidlaw. They were 3rd and 4th. So good points for Essex Ladies.
We will now give you the latest scores after 3 events in the GRE Gold Cup.
Well, now the 100 metres, and Stretford have competed in every final with 7 wins, and they've got a good representative here, Paula Thomas. And she'll be joined in the lineup by her teammate on the plane to Tokyo, that's Beverly Kinch. So those will be the 2 favourites in this race, with Geraldine McLeod also in the lineup going for Birchfield. Wendy Giel, the Commonwealth silver medal hurdler, running for Essex Ladies. There's the full lineup. McLeod, Kinch, Giel, Neef, Thompson, Draper, and the 2 Thomases. Paula in lane 7. So look out for Paula Thomas in lane 7. And for Bev Kinch over on the far side of the track. There's Bev Kinch, former long jumper, now concentrating on the sprints, and has run 11.29 this year. And she beat Thomas to win the UK's, and again when she ran in the Women's 3A's Championships. But on recent form, they've been pretty closely matched. Oh, and Geraldine McLeod of Birchfield, the 19-year-old, off to a super start, but Kinch has now caught up with her. And on this side of the track, Paula Thomas also running very well indeed. Kinch and Thomas, not much to separate between them, and I think Kinch has just done it. Probably, it's rather difficult to tell with them separated by so many lanes, but I think Kinch has just done it from Paula Thomas, with Geraldine McLeod of Birchfield close up behind them. Well, let's look again. Certainly on the inside, Geraldine McLeod was off to a cracking start. Twice the school's champion, and I think on this sort of form she may well have set a personal best, because I've got the winning time there as 11.6. And let's look on the photo to see if we can separate the 2 of them. Bev Kinch, remember, in lane 2, Paula Thomas nearest to us. Yes, Kinch does it, Thomas in 2nd, and McLeod in 3rd place. Well, now in the javelin, to catch up what's happening earlier, this is Britain's top heptathlete. This is Clover Court, who won the javelin at just over 50 metres, 50 metres 32, getting maximum points for Birchfield. Good points again, though, for Essex Ladies, with Karen Slaughter in 2nd. The high jump, Kelly Mason of Sale, Here we see her attempting 1m80. She cleared this, as we'll see. She went on, in fact, to set a personal best of 185. She won that easily. Pinkerton of Glasgow was in second place, and Kim Hagger maintaining the Essex Challenge in third place. No doubt who was the favourite for the women's shot. That's the great Judy Oakes, Britain's #1 shot putter, here turning out for her club, Croydon Harriers. And she won the event with 17m90, but again, Essex Ladies going well, because Sharon Andrews got second at 14.79, with Cooksley third at 14.37.
A blow for Belgrave is the absence of their top sprinters John Regis and Marcus Adam, both missing from the team today. The full lineup is Lenny Paul, who replaces either of those two in the Belgrave lineup in lane 1. Toure, Thames Valley Harriers, Owen, Newham Essex Beagles, Livingston, Shaftesbury Barnet, McLaren Wolverhampton, Braithwaite of Haringey, Falola of Woodford and Asquith of Birchfield. Apart from the cup final battle for points here, quite a personal duel between Livingston in lane 4 and Braithwaite in lane 6. A good first-time start. Braithwaite made the best start, third from the left. Livingston, the small figure right in the middle of the screen, going well. It's a real battle to the line between those two. And on the inside, it was Lenny Paul, astonishingly, who made light of the absence of Regis and Adam. And from Belgrave's point of view, has given them great cause for celebration by beating both of the favoured youngsters in front of him.
Presentation now for the women's 400 metres hurdle.
Well, that was an upset, because Belgrave, in all honesty, once they knew that John Regis had gone home from the previous night's international meeting and Marcus Adam was suffering a hamstring, they thought they would lose points here. Lenny Paul, the 33-year-old Army Corporal on the inside, was well down at this stage on Jason Livingston in the middle in the green shorts, and then Darren Braithwaite as well. It looked odds on between those two, but Lenny Paul stole it on the line.
.50 for Birchfield Harriers, Janet Livermore. Coventry, Godiva, 11.5.
A lap and a half to go in the women's 800 metres. There's the lineup, a talented one. They've all represented their country at senior or junior level. 3 teenagers in the race, but the favourite in the lead now is Lorraine Baker, running for Coventry Godiva Harriers. Dawn Gandy of Hounslow up with her, wearing number 6. Then just behind in the blue colours of Essex Ladies is Sue Bevan, followed by Michelle Wilkinson, the 18-year-old double English schools champion. And then just behind, number 5, Janet Stewart of the city of Glasgow. And inside 2, Jana Mitchell of Croydon, twice the school's 1500-metre winner. But Lorraine Baker win the lead at the bell. She passes in about 61 seconds. Dawn Gandy tracking her. Sue Bevan biding her time. We saw in the 1500 metres last week that she really blazed away and tried to get the qualifying time of 4 minutes 10 seconds, but faded badly in the last lap. But she's a brave runner, and she's waiting her time here. That's Sue Bevan, number 4, but it's still Baker, Gandy, and Sue Bevan. Sue Bevan now coming up onto Baker's shoulder as they've got 200 metres to go, but Baker is stretching out, the women's 3A's runner-up, beaten twice by Diane Edwards, 3 times a Commonwealth finalist, and representing Great Britain with great distinction over that long period of time. And I think she's got the legs, but Sue Bevan trying hard to stay with her. Gandy can't match this pace and is fading. Michelle Wilkinson of Sale still in 4th place. So at the front, Baker, who's led from the gun, trying her best to hold off. Determined challenge here from Sue Bevan, trying to get those points for Essex Ladies. Can she do it? Sue Bevan and Lorraine Baker very close indeed on the line. It'll take a photo to separate them. Suzanne Stanton of Birchfield coming through to get good points for them in 3rd place, just ahead of Dawn Gandy of Hounslow. So a very fine race there indeed. Sue Bevan and Lorraine Baker in that photo finish. Let's look again. Bevan running so determinedly. The 31-year-old doctor from Essex Ladies, determined to get every point possible for her club, up against Lorraine Baker. Let's look again at the finish. They've left the rest of the field some 20 metres behind, and they're battling hard for the line. Maybe Baker, yes she did. She dipped a little too early, I think, and Bevan seems to have just got it. So there's Sue Bevan, who, as always, has run herself out, congratulated there by her team manager, Alf Stokes. And he's telling her, you've just done it.
Well, a lot resting on the shoulders of Scotsman Brian Whittle, running for Haringey in this 800 metres. The GRE Cup holders have already suffered a few setbacks. Darren Braithwaite only 4th in that 100 metres you saw earlier, and they're banking on a victory for Whittle here. He's certainly the classiest competitor in this lineup, with Alan Humphreys running for Birchfield, Nick Smith, Shaftesbury, former United Kingdom champion, Mark Kirk, the Northern Irish record holder for Wolverhampton, Tony Balogan for Woodford, then Whittle, Robert Turner for Belgrave, Andrew Lill, the promising 19-year-old for Newham, Essex, and Neil Ovington for Thames Valley Harriers. 2 laps of the track, of course. Brian Whittle, having moved up from 400 metres to 800 metres with a vengeance in recent seasons, will run the longer distance for Britain in the World Championships. Brian Whittle, a Scotsman, of course, whose first playing club used to be Ayr Seaforth, and this is his 3rd season running in the colours of Haringey. There was quite a lot of controversy when he first joined them. A lot of people felt that he was, strictly speaking, a foreigner, still living in Scotland, and that he shouldn't be running for Haringey, but they overcame those problems, and he's a vital member of their team now, and they're certainly looking for the full 9 points from a victory for him here. Robert Turner of Belgrave, cheekily throwing out the challenge by going in front of Whittle, who's biding his time, just 2 from the rear of the field. The inter-club rivalry between Shaftesbury and Belgrave has a lot of needle about it, there's no doubt about that. A lot of talking has been done behind the scenes about who's going to win between those two here. Alan Humphreys, the Birchfield Harrier, in the middle of the picture, leading, wearing number 2. Mark Kirk, the little Irishman, a regular Great Britain international indoors, in 2nd place, wearing number 7 as they reach the bell.
And it's a slow first lap, 57.2, and that'll obviously suit a 400-metre runner like Brian Whittle.
Although Whittle has got himself not in the best position there, 3 from the rear at the moment, almost got boxed in, but he's got plenty of strength and room and time to move out and attack. Alan Humphreys leads them down the back straight then, a little over 200 to go. Whittle, number 3, begins to make his move now. Into 2nd place goes the 19-year-old Andrew Lill, a finalist in last year's World Junior Championships. Whittle has Humphreys in his sights. Lill for Newham and Essex holding on to 3rd place. The Belgrave man fading a little, Robert Turner, and now Whittle hits the front. And it's Whittle, quite comfortably in the end, who brings maximum points for Haringey. Birchfield in 2nd place. And that's a relief, certainly, for Haringey. They would not have wanted a slip-up from Brian Whittle, and they didn't get one.
Well, there's good points for Belgrave Harriers in the discus, because Abi Akuku won it. It was a very closely contested event, with less than 7 metres separating first from last, and Haringey lost a bit further ground, because Nick Woolcott, although he set a season's best, was in 5th place at 51.98. Akuku winning from Brown of Birchfield.
Well, I'm quite convinced that athletics is the most complicated of all sports, and we'd certainly be lost without the help of the boys, the computer boys from Unisys, who keep us going with all the results and the scores and the competitors at every event we go to. And let's just check via their computer on the latest situation in the GRE Cup final so far. 7 events gone. Shaftesbury, Barnet, the early leaders, going for the Gold Cup on 44, and then Belgrave and Birchfield joint 2nd place on 41. The holders Haringey really slowly away, they're 4th. 6 events gone. The women going for the Jubilee Cup, 9 points for a win, don't forget. And Essex Ladies quickly off the blocks. The holders and favourites on 42.5. Birchfield on 36. And very close, as you can see, for 3rd place. And rejoin us on 4 in a couple of minutes. There's a lot more to come from this GRE Cup final.
Welcome back to the GRE Cup finals, and with me is a surprise winner, I suppose, of the 100 metres men's, Lenny Paul. Lenny, you took the place of John Regis, didn't you?
Yeah, well, he got a bit tired after last night's 300, then he decided to go back down, so I thought I'd step in as being a team captain, and you know, as old men have to try these sort of things, so I thought I'd do a little 100 metres.
You've also got the problem that you had a broken toe and you still beat the top 2 men really there.
Yeah, well, obviously Jason, we trained together with Jason, so I mean, I know what he's capable of, so I knew I had to get out. And with Darren, well, Darren's just running into shape, and I'd like to beat him a couple of months ago, so, and I was up for it.
So because of that, your team manager has now threatened to put you in the 200 metres as well?
Yeah, well, we've got a good chance of winning now. I mean, obviously Haringey in full strength, so yeah, I'm going to do a little 2, see how it goes. and we'll see where we finish there.
Well, best of luck in the two, and now we go over to the next event, which is 110 metres hurdles, and our commentator, Alan Parry.
John Ridgeon, the world silver medalist, has been plagued by injuries for over 2.5 years. How good it is to see him back in Belgrave colours again and improving with every race. He should have been facing one of the world's top men, Tony Jarrett here, but the Haringey man is injured, still made the long journey up from London to support his teammates and watches from the stands. Colin Hamplett, his replacement, goes in lane 1. Then Max Robertson, winner of the 400 hurdles from Wolverhampton, in 2. David Humphreys, Birchfield 3. Ridgeon, Belgrave 4. Harrison, Thames Valley in 5. Aberfar, Newham, Essex in 6. Cowan, Shaftesbury, Barnet in 7. Ashman, Woodford Green in lane 8. They've had a lot of problems in the start of this race. We've had a couple of false starts and a couple of faulty starts, so this is the 5th time they've gone to their blocks, amazingly. And safely away this time. Ridgeon made a good start, right in the middle of the picture, and Ridgeon it is who leads at the moment. Ashman on this near side going well, but Ridgeon has a big lead, and John Ridgeon, the former United Kingdom record holder, wins it. Ashman of Woodford Green took 2nd place, and Robertson 3rd for Wolverhampton. 14.2 the time, a very big kiss for John Ridgeon, and a refreshing drink as well, but most important to him, 9 points for Belgrave.
Well, after 5 attempts, it's good to see John get a good start there. Well clear at the first hurdle. Nice to see him back after such a long period where illness and injury have kept him out of the sport. He's a great character, John, and I'm sure the other high hurdlers will wish him well, hoping on his recovery and a good winter to see him back next year right at the top again. Good stylist, even now, look at him. Well clear. Good points there.
Well, he really is a great character, as Steve was saying, the Cambridge University man. He's suffered an awful lot over the last couple of years when he's been out of the public eye. He's had to work hard at rehabilitation and has suffered a lot of setbacks in his road back to the top. But really, everybody, as Steve Ovett was saying, will wish him well. And the thought of him, Jackson, Jarrett and the rest, what a mouth-watering prospect. Well, a big blow for Newham and Essex Beagles. Colin Reitz, the long-time Great Britain #1 and former world bronze medalist, pulled out on the opening lap of the 3,000-metre steeplechase and sits out the rest of the race here. Next time round, it'll be the bell for the 2 leaders. And Ken Penny of Haringey, ranked #4 in Great Britain at the moment, has been shadowing Justin Chaston, the Belgrave Harrier, who's also the Welsh champion, just behind him at the moment. These two having a real psychological battle. Chaston led for the previous 3 laps, then Penny came up to his shoulder a moment or 2 ago, and it's going to come down, I think, to a sprint finish between these two. And of course, Haringey on the inside in the white and blue, Belgrave in the maroon vest, are the 2 big contenders, in their eyes anyway, for the cup final victory itself. And Ken Penny just stretched away significantly then as he moved into the back straight over that barrier. Runner-up in this year's 3A's championships, and now beginning to put some daylight between himself and the younger man Chaston, the 22-year-old Belgrave Harrier. So Haringey, although they went into this event in 4th place, their team manager Phil Green isn't too perturbed. He was telling me beforehand he expected a slow start to the final. Their stronger events come later on in the day, but this really was one of the events in which Haringey were banking on the full 9 points, and they're going to get those 9 points. So despite that rather hesitant start and 1 or 2 setbacks for Haringey, the reigning league and cup champions and cup favourites have got another winning 9 points here in the steeplechase. Belgrave 2nd.
It's good to welcome back in the women's 100-metre hurdles Lorna Boone, who was the Commonwealth gold medalist back in 1978. Former British record holder, running her first hurdles race for 3 years. Well, she may be a little outpaced in a lineup which includes some of Britain's best: Louise Fraser of Stretford in lane 2, Wendy Geel, herself a former Commonwealth silver medalist, in lane 5, Samantha Farquharson of Croydon in lane 7, and the British heptathlon representative in the World Championships, Clover Court, in lane 8. Samantha Farquharson in lane 7 has run a personal best 13:39 against the Russians this year, closely matched with Louise Fraser at 13:38. They're in nearly opposite sides of the track in 2 and 7. Louise Fraser away very fast indeed. So too Wendy Jail in the blue vest of Essex Ladies. And Essex going well. They've increased their lead in this competition after maximum points of 3,000 metres as well. So it's Fraser and on the near side Samantha Farquharson close. And well, that was very close indeed. I think Samantha Farquharson from Croydon probably just got that. But there she is wearing number 3. Clever Court of Birchfield was also up well. And good points there for Croydon Harriers. Well, Birchfield are 11.5 points now behind Essex Ladies, but they can look to narrow the gap because Lorraine Hanson, now moving into world class, runs for them at 400 metres. For Essex Ladies, Jackie Parker is just inside, our 400-metre hurdles representative in Tokyo. Louise Fraser, in her 3rd event of the day, runs for Stretford, and Diane Edwards just outside her, stepping down from her usual distance of 800 metres. Hanson already gone off fast, eating up the stagger of Linda Smith of Croydon inside her, and then moving up to Louise Fraser, passing her, now moving up and passing Diane Edwards of Sale and Leslie Mallows of Coventry, so she's eating up the field. A tremendous run. Jackie Parker in the blue of Essex Ladies going as well as anybody else, but Hanson, who's made a breakthrough this year to 51.88, for the World Championship qualifying standard when she was 2nd at the Women's 3As, has blazed away for the first 200 metres here, running really well. Diane Edwards trying her best to try to hang on to something in lane 6, but Hanson's got a huge lead now, but good points of course again for Essex Ladies, with Jackie Parker contesting 2nd with Diane Edwards. But there's no doubt Birchfield Harriers win that. Lorraine Hanson wins it. 2nd place goes to Diane Edwards, 3rd to Jackie Parker, and 4th to Linda Smith of Croydon. A very fine run indeed, and maximum points for Birchfield, with Lorraine Hanson, the winner of the 400 metres.
Birchfield Harriers vying for a place in the first 3 today, and what a trump card they've got here in the 400 metres, with the United Kingdom record holder Derek Redmond running for them in lane 7, recovering from injury, and he's clinched a place in Britain's World Championship team. The lineup is Kermit Bentham, the 31-year-old Thames Valley Harrier, lane 1. Simon Grant, Newham and Essex, lane 2. Dwayne Hart goes for Belgrave in lane 3. The 20-year-old former European Junior champion Wayne MacDonald, a big hope for Haringey, lane 4. Martin Holgate, Woodford Green in lane 5. Then Nigel Rogers for Wolverhampton in 6. Derek Redmond for Birchfield in 7. And Shaftesbury Barnet's Calvin Henry, who was a finalist in the recent World Student Games, in lane 8. A welcome competition this for Derek Redmond. He really needs as many races as he can get between now and the World Championships. 19 when he set the United Kingdom record, which still stands despite everything Roger Black has achieved since Redmond's lengthy absence through injury. Black himself, of course, absent for almost 3 years, and Redmond threatening to return as dramatically as Roger Black has. The battle for points between Haringey, Belgrave and the rest, but Birchfield Harriers have got a flying start in this 400 metres here. A very, very strong first 200 being run by Derek Redmond, extreme left of the picture. And right in the middle, Wayne MacDonald, the 20-year-old Haringey runner, coming through strongly to challenge for 2nd place. On paper, of course, Derek Redmond far and away the fastest and the classiest competitor, and proving on the track as well as on paper the gulf in standard between him and the rest. Wayne MacDonald running very well, though, the 20-year-old in the middle, and Calvin Henry coming very fast as well, nearest to the camera, lane 8. But it's a big winning margin for Redmond. Henry was next, I think, and Wayne MacDonald 3rd.
Exhilarating, and a fast time too for Redmond. I've clocked him at 45.9.
Tremendous, and that'll really send him off to Tokyo in good heart.
The Australian record holder Nicole Staines, who now lives in Britain, is in action in the long jump for Hounslow. She won the event at 6 metres 33, but the Essex Ladies momentum continues because the versatile Kim Hagger was 2nd place at 6.23, and Paula Thomas was in 3rd for Stretford at 5 metres 80. But Nicole Staines definitely the class of the event. The good events are beginning in the field for Haringey, and they can look to pick up some points, I think, here. First of all, we had the shot, and Dave Calloway, consistent series, proved to be the winner of the event. This putt was to go out to 16 metres 41, and that gave them some very valuable points indeed. Mark Higgins of Birchfield was second at 16.23, and Andy Vince of Wolverhampton. But Belgrave have lost a bit of ground. Abby Okuku, the discus thrower, was fourth in the shot at 15.62, so they lost 5 points there to the rivals Haringey. Judy Oakes, already the winner of the shot, came from behind Tracy Axton of Hounslow and Sharon Andrews of Essex to complete the double. She won the discus, and her winning throw was 49 metres 62, so better than the one we've just seen.
Well, we're reaching the stage when this Gold Cup and the Jubilee Cup will be handed out to the winners of this GRE final here in Gateshead. And I tell you what, we've got a terrific competition going on for the winner of the Gold Cup. A three-way tie at the moment. What a contrast to last year when Haringey streaked away with it. Belgrave, Haringey and Shaftesbury all on 64. Birchfield on 62, right in contention as well, and there are 9 events to go. The women, just 4 events to go. Bit more straightforward, this looks to me. Essex Ladies, 76.5. Could they be heading for that ton again? Birchfield back on 63 and Stretford on 50. Well, we'll be back with the climax of this competition. Who knows, it could all go down to the relay. We'll also see Sally Gunnell, a genuine prospect for a gold medal in total.
Well, welcome back, and with me here is Derek Redmond, the winner of the 400. Derek, it's been a long, long time that you've been off, and you've come back this year and made the British team. You must be really pleased where you're going.
Oh yeah, very happy, because about 4 weeks ago I didn't think I'd be running at all, and right at a week before the 3As I didn't think I'd be running, so to actually get back running and make the team, I'm happy with that.
You run 45.77 today. I mean, that's pretty good in the conditions, and considering the opposition wasn't that strong. But I know that you really want to get below 45s in the World Championships, don't you?
Yes, I mean, I do. I was hoping to run a little bit quicker today, but as you say, the weather wasn't conducive for a quick time. But I'm pleased with that. But when I used to run 45.7s, they used to feel easier than that. But at the end of the day, I'm under 46, so I'm pleased with that.
Well, Derek, best of luck in the World Championships. We're all rooting for you. You've been a long time out of the sport. I know that everybody wishes you well, so best of luck.
Thanks very much.
Anyway, now we get back to the rest of the action on the track, and our commentators, Alan Parry and Peter Matthews.
Well, with Essex Ladies storming away in the women's match, no athlete of theirs has been worse than fourth. They can look for maximum points here again from Jenny Stout, who runs in lane 1 in this lineup. Val Theobald of Croydon, Paula Cohen of Stretford, Rachel Kirby, now you're showing useful form as a triple jump, Hounslow, Morag Baxter, City of Glasgow, Michelle Thomas of Coventry, Geraldine MacLeod of Birchfield, and Alison Thompson of Sale. Geraldine MacLeod of Birchfield, possibly likely to present the main challenge to Stout. She was a fine third in the 100 metres in 11.64, and she may well be ready for her first sub-24 second time. But Jenny Stout running the 200 metres now for Britain in Tokyo, and also, of course, a key member of our 4x400 metres relay team, which just might get a medal in the World Championships. So good sharpener for Stout, and of course good points for Essex Ladies, we hope. Off relatively slowly, certainly Geraldine MacLeod in lane 7 is going very well. Morag Baxter for Glasgow, Kirby for Hounslow, but as the stagger unwinds, Jenny Stout now getting into her running for Essex Ladies. Paula Cohen for Stretford in lane 3 also going well. There's no doubt about it. It's Jenny Stout who comes through to win, as expected. Geraldine MacLeod in second place. Val Theobald of Croydon, I think, in fact, got through. And so Essex Ladies are now well in front in the match with just the 2 relays to go.
Balling up to a really close finish for the Men's Gold Cup now, and Belgrave with high hopes of more points from Lenny Paul, the surprise winner of the 100 metres over the longer sprint. It's Barry Davis, Newham, Darren Braithwaite, Haringey, Palola of Woodford, Weathers, Thames Valley Harriers, Reed of Shaftesbury, Thomas of Birchfield, then Lenny Paul, Noel of Wolverhampton and Bilston. Better news for Haringey in the 1500 metres. They've just won that through Simon Fairbrother, and more to the point, Belgrave and Shaftesbury were 7th and 8th. So things looking a little better now for Haringey. But this man could spoil things for them here in the 200 metres. Lenny Paul. He's had a marvellous day, and he's had a marvellous start. Oh, he's really left them round the bend. But on the inside, Darren Braithwaite in the green shorts, running for Haringey here. They really need a good run from him, but he's tiring, and Lenny Paul is holding on, and Lenny Paul has had a marvellous day and has won both the 100 and the 200. Palola of Woodford got through for second place. Darren Braithwaite only 4th again.
Fine run by Paul. I've clocked him in just under 21.1.
Well, that's terrific news for Belgrave and for Lenny Paul. He's quite a character. 33 now. He's a corporal in the army. He actually has run in the Winter Olympics for Great Britain, would you believe, as a member of our bobsleigh team. He has represented Great Britain, but never in a major championship. He's running with a handicap here of a serious toe injury, but he's gone and beaten much younger and much better fancied men in the 100 metres, and now repeated the feat over 200 metres, and that is so vital for Belgrave. It could make all the difference between first and second, maybe even. Tremendous day for him. 2 laps to go in the 5,000 metres. Well, Belgrave expected most of their points to come from the field events today. They've had an unexpected bonus with Lenny Paul's sprint double, and now they're hoping for another 9 points from Paul Evans in this race. And Evans leading here. The early leader, and indeed for most of the preceding laps, was Mark King of Haringey, but significantly, he really has gone backwards now, and King, the Haringey man, is way out of the picture from the leading group, back in 6th place at the moment. John Sherburn from Shaftesbury Harriers, sticking doggedly to the tail of the leader, Paul Evans. Shaftesbury themselves still in the frame, of course, in this very exciting climax to the GRE Gold Cup. Any one of 4 teams still can win it at this stage. Belgrave, with high hopes, confidence running through their squad. Lenny Paul's victories in the 100 and 200 metres have lifted their spirits enormously. And the 30-year-old Paul Evans here reaches the bell. Whatever else happens, he knows he's going to finish significantly well ahead of his challenger from Haringey, but the Shaftesbury Barnet man, Sherburn, who's having a very fine year himself, hasn't been shaken off.
These are the pictures you'll be seeing on Channel 4 next Friday at 9 o'clock.
King still back in 6th place, the Haringey man, as Evans leads down the back straight for the final time. Look how cocky Sherburn looked there. He must have had a shout from a teammate in the crowd. He looked very, very cool indeed, and is surely just biding his time before he pounces. Evans is really a longer distance man than this. He's had a very good year over the half marathon distance, so Sherburn would expect to be able to beat him in a sprint finish. He's certainly waiting a long time. And the sprint finish starts now, and Sherburn, as expected, has got away from Evans to win it for Shaftesbury Harriers. Evans, a good 2nd place nonetheless for Belgrave, and looking back down the track, King still in 6th place. He's trying hard to pick up an extra point in a sprint to the line, but that's another disappointment for Haringey.
Colin Mackenzie of Newham and Essex Beagles won the javelin at 75 metres 66, with the fate of the match depending on these final field events, close between Jensen of Haringey 2nd, Bevan of Belgrave 3rd. Francis Agyapong won the triple jump for Shaftesbury Barnet. 16:02 from Emmanuel of Birchfield. Golly of Thames Valley, and the leading club slipping back a bit. Derek Brown of Belgrave was 4th, but Haringey would have lost some points they might have expected in this event, with Michael Brown only 5th. However, Haringey are gaining here in the high jump. Dalton Grant certainly way below his best form. Nonetheless, we'll see him now clear 2 metres 15 to win the event, but the Belgrave challenge still being maintained as Warren Caswell got 2nd at 2 metres 10. And very good points also for Belgrave from Michael Edwards. We see him here at 5:20. He went on to clear 5:30. Gale of Wolverhampton did 5:11, but Haringey only 6th. Mike Johnson 4 metres 50. Well, the first appearance of Sally Gunnell here at the GRE Cup Finals. She hasn't needed to exercise her talents much for Essex Ladies, other than running this first leg of the 4x100 metres relay, and she will have been delighted that her teammates have given her the situation that they've got a very clear lead in this match. And really, the job is just to get the baton round, with Glasgow on the inside, Birchfield the main rivals in lane 2, then Hounslow, Essex in 4, Coventry, Godiva, Stretford, Sale and Croydon. The Essex Ladies team following Sally Gunnell will be Jenny Stout, winner of the 200 metres, then Wendy Geel, who ran in the hurdles, and then Karen Campbell. And on paper, they would be the favourites, though Hounslow just inside them have also got a talented squad. Lorraine Robbins, to Nicole Staines, to Rachel Kirby, and to Bev Kinch. So 2 individual event winners in that particular lineup as well. Really, the thing for Essex Ladies is just to make sure there are no mishaps and that they can pass the baton safely and finish in the leading positions, and that would secure them the Jubilee Cup. Sally well into her running straight away, eating up the stagger on Coventry Godiva, outsider, and she's going to pass over very nicely to Jennifer Stout, and Jennifer Stout really flying down the back straight. Birchfield in second place, Lorraine Hanson, the individual 400-metre runner, running for her. Those 2 teams, probably Birchfield just, no, Essex Ladies in the lead from Birchfield. Not too impressive a change over there. For Essex Ladies, Wendy Gill is in the lead. Birchfield Harriers have Clover Court. And finally, for Essex Ladies, Karen Campbell on the joy leg, the anchor leg, which is going to take Essex Ladies to win this particular race and to ensure their win in the Jubilee Cup final. They just take it from Birchfield Harriers and from Stretford. And great joy on the Essex Ladies team, because they know that that race win has taken them to victory in the Jubilee Cup.
So then Essex Ladies, the champions again. They've won the Jubilee Cup now 6 times and really looked in a class of their own here in Gateshead. Very different story, though, developing in the chase for the Gold Cup. Haringey have had a couple of disasters in the pole vault, and with John Herbert being unable to compete and going into the relays, Belgrave find themselves in pole position.
So a really tense situation then in the Gold Cup, and Haringey, astonishingly, have never lost a 4x100 metres in their previous 12 finals. They're in the outside lane here, lane 8. Belgrave, their chief rivals, in lane 2. Haringey go with Ian Clark, Wayne MacDonald, Mickey Morris and Darren Braithwaite. For Belgrave, it's Derek Brown, Abby Ikoku, surprisingly. He's already won the discus. Quite a contrast in events. John Ridgin, winner of the sprint hurdles, and Lenny Paul, who's had a fantastic day already, of course, with victories in the 2 individual sprints. A lot of pressure on Haringey here. So much could depend on this. A previously unblemished record in Gold Cup finals. They've got to keep that record going today. And their first changeover certainly was smooth. Ian Clark to Wayne MacDonald. They've got the veteran captain, Mickey Morris, who's running most of those previous finals, to take the 3rd leg. Birchfield going well in the middle of the track as well here. Belgrave a little way back at the moment, but coming through strongly now with John Ridgin. And a poor changeover then for Haringey, and they've lost an awful lot of ground here. Shaftesbury on the inside are going to run away with the race, and then Birchfield in 2nd place, and Belgrave got through for 3rd. And something went horribly wrong then for Haringey in the changeover, and that is a disaster for them. They finished 6th. Well, Haringey's unbeaten record shattered. And it all went wrong here, and there's even the possibility, I guess, of a disqualification for them. Was the baton change? It looked mighty close to being outside the zone.
Well, actually, the judges decided that Haringey were okay. Instead, they disqualified the winners Shaftesbury and Newham as well. So Haringey picked up their 5 points. Belgrave got 7, and that puts Belgrave Harriers in a great position going into the final event that's all set to go, the 4x400 relay. It looks as though the Gold Cup is going to Belgrave for the first time.
The situation gloriously simple for Belgrave Harriers, drawn in lane 5 here in this final event, the 4x400 metres relay. As long as they don't finish 8th and last or get themselves disqualified, then they will be Gold Cup winners for the first time ever. It's Woodford on the inside, Birchfield, Haringey, Wolverhampton and Bilston, Belgrave in lane 5, Shaftesbury Barnet in 6, Thames Valley Harriers in 7, and Woodford in lane 8. I'm sure the team management of Belgrave have absolutely implored their athletes just to play it safe here. Dwayne Hart running the first leg for them, Darrell Maynard the second, Rob Turner the third, and what a wonderful moment in prospect for John Ridgin. After so many years of injury problems, he could anchor his team Belgrave home to Gold Cup triumph. Well, of course, Haringey won't give up the ghost here after 5 successive final victories and 8 wins out of the last 10 finals, with Alan Humphreys running the opening leg for them, and the Belgrave team's spurred on by their teammates on the side. Haringey are going to make them fight all the way. But Steve Ovett, it looks like a great moment in the making here for Belgrave.
Yes, it is, but look at Haringey. They're really going to make a point out there and try and win this, and they're way out in front there on the second leg. And we've got to see whether Belgrave, I think if you look at the picture, they're in the middle of the field, so they're doing all that's necessary at the moment, as long as they don't drop the baton. And we've seen that before in relays and at international level, and it can happen at any stage of the race.
Yes, Dwayne Ledejo running the first leg for Haringey, hanging on to Gary Cadogan, and they've got a big lead, but Belgrave are safely at the moment in third place. And as long as they stay there or thereabouts, in touch with the leaders, that'll be enough for them. Belgrave have never won the cup, founder members of the British Athletics League, and they rose through all the divisions to take their place in the top league. And remember, they've got themselves into this position today without some of their top men, including John Regis and Marcus Adam. They thought all season that they could win the league itself. They might yet, although Haringey look to be the favourites to hold on to their league championship, but they're about to lose their cup here to their arch rivals. Still, they are giving it a tremendous run here. Lawrence Lynch running the third leg for them, and they still have that big lead, but look back through the field, because that's equally significant to see where Belgrave are. And they're still in third.
They're still third, but the rest of the teams are closing up around them. Nothing is sure, but when you hand over to someone of the calibre of John Ridgeon, I think you can safely say that not many people are going to go past him. But John's out there and relaxing at the moment, and I think it's in fairly safe hands, Alan, at the moment.
Well, at the front of the field, Haringey are away, and surely with Wayne MacDonald are going to win this final event. But back down the back straight, all eyes now in the stand, I'm sure, will be on John Ridgeon, the 110-metre hurdler, one of the most popular characters in the Belgrave team. And as long as he stays where he is now, he's under pressure for third place, but as long as he stays third or fourth, it matters not. Haringey have done their bit, that's all they could do by winning the final event. Second place to Birchfield, third to Shaftesbury, fourth to Belgrave Harriers, and fourth is enough for them to start the celebrations. Bill Laws and Leo Coy, the team managers, and there in the middle, Lenny Paul in the colourful tights, who did so much to make this triumphant moment possible. Belgrave have, for the first time ever, won the Gold Cup.
Well, John's in not any sort of shape to celebrate at the moment, but I'm sure that the rest of the teammates coming across to him now will assure him of the position that they are now the GRE Cup winners for 1991. Well done, boys.
And here's their final point score, 121 from Haringey, 118. Birchfield beating Shaftesbury for third by just half a point.
Yeah. Let's get the beers in.
And the women's result, Essex Ladies 107.5, Birchfield 90, Stretford 71, Sale 64. And the Essex Ladies team step up onto the rostrum to receive the GRE Jubilee Cup. The sixth time they've won it, and another triumphant achievement, winning clearly today by 17.5 points. And there it is, the GRE Jubilee Cup. And obviously very delighted Essex Ladies team. And the men's winners today from a much more closely contested final are Belgrave Harriers. And their win, of course, all the sweeter because it's the first time that they've ever been on the top of the rostrum, and as many of them are trying to get up there as possible. A splendid day for the team from South London, the Belgrave Harriers, the winners of the GRE Gold Cup. Marvellous initial triumph for Belgrave. Their best placing before was third back in 1988, and now they've won. 3-point victory over Haringey.
Well, we'll be talking to John Ridgeon, who's played such a big part in Belgrave's win here in just a moment. But first of all, Steve has joined me, and he's talking to Sally Gunnell of Essex Ladies. Steve.
Sally, you're the team captain, victorious yet again.
Yeah, no, everyone did absolutely brilliant today. I mean, I didn't have to, all I had to do was the relay, and you know, they're all really strong out there, and they won by I think about 20 points.
I mean, it's been a good team effort this year as well as last year. I mean, do you think, you know, this means that next year you go from strength to strength and probably win again?
Yeah, I'm sure they will. I mean, there's a lot of people that, you know, we were all going out to Tokyo. Well, there's about 5 or 6 of us going out to Tokyo. So, you know, and a lot of us didn't want to do our main event. So if it was a competition where we'd be doing our main events, I'm sure that, you know, who knows what the point score would be.
So you've not had a bad time so far, have you, in the last couple of weeks? 2 UK records. You're running really well.
Yeah.
You're almost, I wouldn't say a hot favourite to get a medal in Tokyo, but you must be up amongst it. And now you've won the team event. I mean, you can't put a foot wrong.
No, it does. Seems to be going in the right direction. I just hope it carries on for another 2.5 weeks.
Well, I won't give you the kiss of death with that. Best of luck for Tokyo, and over to Jim, the other team captain.
Yeah, thanks, Steve. Well, John, unlike Sally, you haven't got Tokyo to look forward to because it's come a bit suddenly for you, hasn't it, coming back from injury? But a great afternoon for you here in Belgrave.
It's been great fun. Yeah, this is actually my last meet of the year, so I'm finishing here, so probably have a few beers with the boys tonight. But yeah, it's good because Essex Ladies and Haringey tend to win everything, so it's really good that we can come along today, compete well, and we've actually managed to beat them, so it's great.
And before that last 400, when it was all wrapped up really, but I was looking at you closely, there was a bit of strain on your face before you set off there.
Well, yeah, I've been injured for 26 months, and I've been back about 4 or 5 months, and I haven't done the conditioning work, and I don't mind admitting I was scared. And a few people have been saying to me maybe I should move to 400 hurdles. Never after that. It hurts so much.
Just sum it up what this means for Belgrave, this win here today.
Well, at last we managed to break Haringey's dominance, and hopefully it can lead us on to next year, maybe even winning the British League and trying to turn them over again. It's been great for everyone.
Good, John, and good luck with the recovery.
Thank you.
Well, excellent competition here today, a lovely atmosphere as well. No holding Essex Ladies as always, but Belgrave Harriers, they've broken that Haringey domination at last. From us all in Gateshead, bye-bye.